Hello warriors, welcome back to our channel. Today, in the session of current affairs at 9:30, we are going to talk about the significant development that has taken place in terms of India and China relations. Recently, Jaishankar, who is the External Affairs Minister of our country, has given a clarification on a statement that he gave way back. So, the statement over which he gave clarification is that 75% issues are sorted with China. Now, what are these 75% issues that herein are talked about? We are going to quickly discuss in this video. We'll start from the very nature of the history of the countries, the border issues, the statement clarification. Then we'll also be talking about the Chinese violations, as it is very integral to understanding this particular statement. Then we'll be talking about the impact that these violations have on our bilateral relations, and followed by we are going to discuss about the significance as to why we are discussing and why this particular thing is so important for us as a country and as an aspirant. But before that, I would quickly like to tell you that the offer that we have, which offers 50% off, 50% discount on the subscription of our platform, ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. Hence, I request to whosoever who wants to apply and start their journey today, do use the code NSTLive to avail the maximum benefits. In this, we are technically having the full coverage of your prelims as well as mains and interview preparation. We are here with the best set of teachers who ensure that your entire learning, entire preparation is eased out. We also have the CAC Assure program that pertains to guarantee that if you buy a subscription for more than 2 years, we are going to give back your amount if you do not clear the examination. We also have iconic subscription that pertains to give you all the 1:1 mentorship that in particularly is given if you buy the iconic subscription. And also the major perks herein are the absolute doubt resolution along with the purchasing of books that are otherwise not available in the Plus subscription. Also, we are running with the September optional carnival wherein you can look forward and learn with the teachers who are again the best of the country and who will teach their subject matter expertise to all of you, just so you can also cover the optional part of your examination, because we understand that the preparation does not end while covering the general studies subject. So, what are you waiting for? Do apply the code NSTLive today itself to avail the maximum benefits. Now, if we talk about the entire situation quickly, then it is very important for us to learn the history first. So, the India and China are the oldest civilization, which is why they are in talks every now and then. Not because they are neighbors, not because they are oldest, but also because they have a lot in common and they share a lot many relations with each other. Both have emerged as independent nations almost at the same time, and both countries have a potential of being developed at a very faster rate. Also to note that if whatever development happens in either of the nation, the other one is severely impacted, and in this case it's mostly China that is envious of the entire situation. So if we see that the boundary of our country pertains to get directly impacted by China as it is sharing its states, so the states that are basically being shared as in the boundary aspect are Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, wherein the severe issues that Chinese have are in this part of the country. The amount of the line, the area that is being shared is 3,488 kilometers in length. Over the time, it was seen that while the relationship started with, as in the establishment had already begun, the relationships were very much positive. But soon after, a certain standoffs, a certain sort of disengagement, a certain sort of fights everything turned out to a armed conflict by 1960s, post which it was seen that in order to avoid this and work on this, China and India started to maintain a strategic distance with each other. But after a while again, things started to cool off and people wanted to normalize this situation, and this happened by the 1970s, post which when things were fine, people started to work on the conflict resolution via the means of various agreements, talks, meetings, conferences, so on and so forth. If you see that what is the actual problem herein is that there are areas of conflict, and you will be very surprised to know that the areas of conflict are widespread. There are basically three sections into which it is divided. So there is a western sector, there is a middle sector, and there is a eastern sector, wherein most of the standoffs take place here in the middle and eastern sector. And to note that essentially it started up with the western sector, wherein Aksai Chin was taken into the control of China. This particular part is located between Ladakh and Xinjiang. In the middle sector, the areas that are basically in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh are located, wherein we come to the eastern sector, we talk about the northeastern part of our country. You'll be very shocked to know that China claims Arunachal Pradesh as southern Tibet, which is why the standoff keeps on going. It has got no one stopping it. During the British rule, there was almost one more division that existed, which was on the lines of Macdonald Line and Johnson's Line. This was majorly in 1865, wherein it was said that the Johnson's Line is in control of India and Macdonald's Line is in control of China. But both of the countries were not ready to accept it as such, and the relevance of this was gone back then. Then there are certain more developments that are happening in this region due to the very fact that India and China are always in a conflicting nature, are always in a fight kind of a situation, which is why both the countries have started to align themselves to like-minded countries. They have started to strategically develop on alliances. The enemy of the enemy nature is something that is being addressed by China very well, because it is seen that the border initiative, the China Belt and Road Initiative, be it the about the growing friendship, all of that is going with respect to India, Pakistan and China, just so China and Pakistan could sandwich India on the grounds of strategy, on the grounds of geopolitics. Also, it was seen that there is a certain standoff, there is a certain problem in terms of even the Brahmaputra water sharing, wherein right now, even after the problems are so big, there is no formal agreement. There is nothing in written even till now, and in order to have the infrastructural strengthening on the river waters of Brahmaputra, China is constantly building upon dams one after the other. Also, you would be very shocked to know that even the movement of Dalai Lama is a problem for the Chinese people, other than which the standoffs in the middle and eastern sector are something that are in talks every now and then. If we consider these 23 points, then majorly the standoffs that get flared up are in the region that are signified in this map, which are majorly again divided and subdivided from sectors to the states. As you can see here in Ladakh, then Himachal, Arunachal, these three places are the points, these four in fact, Uttarakhand as well, these four places are the flashpoints wherein a lot of tensions exist even today. Post which, when we talk about the economic corridor, which pertains to address roads, rails, ports, energies and SEZs, we see that the sovereignty of India is directly into question, because you see that this network that spreads along from China to Pakistan has got severe and significant connections to even India. You see, the border and the disputed territory are the ones that are included in this aspect, are included in this project, which is why the direct tension, the direct issues are on the lines of the sovereignty of our country. Hence, such alliances are a problem to us eventually. Then we have the statement clarification, wherein S. Jaishankar also made it very clear that if there are problems in the Indian Ocean, S. Jaishankar will not tolerate it. India as a country will not tolerate it, and they are going to take stringent actions upon that particular thing. Also, this particular statement was in regards to whatever happened in 2020 in the Galwan Valley, in the Doklam region, that these people, as in the Chinese people, had violated certain agreements and they sent out their troops on the border. And soon after the deployment, there was a warlike situation. A lot of people had lost their lives, which was again a problem and a point of concern that India was not going to negotiate on. India didn't want it to be considerate on that particular thing. Over which, what advancement did take place? The agreements again came into play and disengagement took place. That is when the external minister had said that okay, whatever is happening, we do accept it, we do appreciate it, but at the same time it is very important for people to note that if in the future this particular thing persists or happens again, then we are going to deal with it in particular. Normalization was something that the external minister talked about, that okay, we are trying to go back to that particular situation. It's not conflict resolution yet, but normalization is something that we are definitely looking forward to. And then this particular development was majorly on the grounds of that we as civilizations have a very long history. Hence, agreeing on the disengagement part, agreeing on the patrolling part was something that both the countries agreed upon. And hence it was said that 75% of the issues have been resolved, since most of the issues that pertains to lie on grounds of or in relation to India and China or on the grounds of disengagement only, are on the grounds of border issues only. So that was something that was being bigger of an issue. Now, if we talk about the violations that the minister had briefly talked about, then there are certain times wherein these violations have taken place, which are in 1962 and 1987. These violations took place in Arunachal Pradesh, in 2013 in the Depsang Plain, then in 2017 in the Doklam Plateau, then finally the recent issues that are being made by Chinese on us is on the grounds of the Galwan Valley crisis and whatever they did at the time when we were severely hit by COVID crisis. The impact it has is increased tension, diplomatic strain, economic relations, strategic alliances, public sentiments are also being hurt because the countries as in are unable to accept the neighborhood policies as such. They in themselves are developing a sense of insecurity, which is a problem for even the future. If we talk about the passive aggression that China demonstrates every now and then it is about the diplomatic pushback, the cyber and informative warfare, and all of these which China uses, like since it has a lot of resources, it pertains to uses and it pertains to address to all of these situations wherein it creates a problem for the other countries, losing the sense of trust that China should have. Even US is sort of banning Chinese products into the use of their country. They are saying that we need to discard all of these by 2026-2027 ends. Hence, this aggression policy is becoming a problem because they are considering, as in China always feel vulnerable that they are going to be annexed, they are going to be someone who are going to be caught hold of. and hence they every now and then show this passive aggression towards other countries. And if we relate it to the present times, then the Quad Summit is something which is the best example, wherein China created a problem in the South and East China Sea just so it thought that USA and other Quad countries are trying to directly get hold of Beijing. Now, if we talk about the significance of the de-escalation, then it is majorly for regional stability, diplomatic relation, economic impact, humanitarian concerns, focus on other issues, and international perception, just so the situation can be better dealt with. They could be better be engaged with, just so we as neighborhood stand strong, and the other countries cannot take advantage of us as a country in order to target the other. And hence this de-escalation is very, very important. I hope that this session was of some help. If you need any other assistance in terms of anything related to current affairs, feel free to write back to us. Also, if you did like the session, please do not hesitate to share, subscribe and comment, because this particular thing would act as a point of motivation for all of us. With this is me, Nandini, signing off for the day.